Bad wheel bearing versus bad tire. One test that ends the confusion forever. You just spent $800 on a brand new set of tires. The ride was smooth for exactly 1 week. Then the noise started. A low hum at first, barely noticeable. But within days, it turned into a steady growl that you can hear with the windows up and the radio on. You are convinced the tire shop sold you defective tires. You are ready to go back and demand a refund. But before you make that call, there is something you need to understand. Because in many cases, the new tires are not the problem. The noise was there before, and it was just masked by the old worn tires. And the real cause has been hiding inside your wheel this entire time. That moment right there, like when you have already spent the money and the noise is still there, that is where most people make a costly decision. They blame the tires. They demand a refund. They buy a different brand. They spend more money. But the noise does not go away because they were never fixing the actual problem. If you want to avoid mistakes like this and actually understand what your car is telling you, make sure you are subscribed right now. Because on this channel, we don't guess, we diagnose. This is where the process can become unclear. A bad wheel bearing and a bad tire produce sounds that are almost identical. Both create a humming or growling noise that increases with speed. Both can vibrate through the steering wheel or the floorboard. Both seem to come from a specific corner of the vehicle. To the average driver, and even to some mechanics, they are indistinguishable without proper testing. Let's start with the foundation. A wheel bearing is a set of precision steel balls or rollers that ride inside a smooth metal race. It allows the wheel to spin freely while supporting the full weight of the vehicle. When the bearing is new, it is silent. But over time, the races develop pits. The rollers develop flat spots. The grease breaks down, and the internal damage creates noise that travels through the suspension and into the cabin. A tire makes noise when the tread wears unevenly. Cupping creates a scalloped pattern that slaps the road. Feathering creates a sawtooth edge that whines at speed. Both produce sound that is easily confused with a failing bearing. But here's the one detail that changes everything. A wheel bearing changes pitch under load. A tire does not. When you turn the steering wheel, the weight of the vehicle shifts from one side to the other. The bearing on the loaded side gets louder. The bearing on the unloaded side gets quieter. A tire makes the same noise regardless of which way you turn. That single difference is the key to an accurate diagnosis. Pause and think about this. A 30-second steering test on an empty road can tell you with near certainty whether you are dealing with a wheel bearing or a tire. No tools, no cost, no guesswork. Just a gentle sweep of the steering wheel at 40 miles per hour. This is where diagnosis becomes critical. Because if you replace the wrong component, the noise remains, and you are out hundreds of dollars with nothing to show for it. Now let's talk about what actually causes wheel bearing noise, because this is where the real story is. A wheel bearing fails for one primary reason: contamination. The bearing is sealed from the factory with grease inside, but over time, the seal can wear out. Water and dirt get in, the grease breaks down. The metal components start grinding against each other instead of rolling smoothly. That grinding is the noise you hear. The most common cause of seal failure is impact, hitting a pothole at speed, curbs, rough roads. The shock can distort the bearing housing just enough to break the seal. Once the seal is broken, the bearing's life is measured in months, not years. The second cause is simply age and mileage. Most wheel bearings last between 80,000 and 120,000 miles. After that, the internal wear becomes significant enough to produce noise. Some bearings fail earlier, some last longer. But if your vehicle is over 100,000 miles and you hear a growling noise, the bearing should be high on your suspect list. Now let's talk about tire noise, because it is equally important to understand. The most common cause of tire noise is cupping. Cupping happens when the tread wears into a scalloped pattern. You can feel it by running your hand across the tread. It feels like a washboard. The suspension cannot control the tire's contact patch, so the tire bounces down the road and wears unevenly. This is important. If you have cupped tires and you replace them without fixing the shocks, the new tires will cup too. You will be back in the same situation within a few thousand miles. The tires were never the root cause. They were a symptom of a worn suspension. Feathering is another common cause. This is where the tread blocks are worn at an angle, creating a sawtooth pattern. Feathering is caused by incorrect alignment. Quick question, have you ever replaced a part based on a noise only to find the noise was still there afterward? Drop a comment below and let me know, because this is one of the most common and frustrating experiences in car ownership. Now let's move into real diagnostic thinking, because this is where you separate guesswork from actual expertise. The first step is the steering sweep test. Find a safe, empty road. Get up to about 40 miles per hour. Gently steer left and then right while listening to the noise. If the noise gets louder when you turn left and quieter when you turn right, the right wheel bearing is failing. If it gets louder turning right and quieter turning left, the left bearing is the problem. If the noise does not change at all, it is likely tire related. The second step is the road surface test. Drive over different types of pavement. Tire noise changes dramatically on different surfaces. Wheel bearing noise stays consistent regardless of the road. The third step is the rotation test. Rotate your tires. If the noise moves to a different location on the vehicle, the problem is the tires. If it stays in the same corner, it is likely a wheel bearing. The fourth step is the visual and physical inspection. Jack the vehicle up and support it on jack stands. Spin the wheel by hand. A smooth, quiet spin is a good sign. A rough grinding or catching feeling indicates bearing wear. Use the steering test as your primary guide. This is the pattern you need to understand. Symptoms alone are not enough. You need confirmation. Because without confirmation, you are just guessing. And guessing leads to expensive mistakes. Now let's talk about cost, because this is where the impact becomes real. A single wheel bearing replacement ranges from $200 to $500 depending on the vehicle. A set of 4 tires ranges from $400 to over $1,000. A suspension inspection to check for worn shocks or alignment issues costs around $100 to $150. Now pause and ask yourself, what happens if you buy new tires when the noise was a failing wheel bearing? You are out $800 and the noise is still there. What happens if you replace a wheel bearing when the noise was caused by cupped tires from worn shocks? You are out $400, the noise is still there, and you still need tires and shocks. The steering sweep test costs nothing. It takes 30 seconds. And it gets you closer to the right answer than any other diagnostic step. But here is the final warning. If the noise from a wheel bearing has progressed to a grinding sound, do not keep driving. A grinding bearing is in the advanced stage of failure. It can seize at any moment. If the bearing seizes at speed, the wheel can lock up or detach. Have the vehicle towed to a repair shop. And if you have cupped tires, understand that new tires alone will not solve the problem. The worn suspension components that caused the cupping must be addressed first. Otherwise, you are just buying the same problem again. If this helped you understand how to tell the difference between a bad wheel bearing and a bad tire, hit that like button and share this with someone who might be one wrong diagnosis away from wasting hundreds of dollars. In the next video, we are covering the reduced engine power warning, why it comes on, what actually triggers it, and the 10-minute fix that most shops will never mention. Because just like this, it is another diagnosis where guessing leads to the wrong repair.